All right, so I'm fighting the wind right now, and I'm on my way back home, but I'm going straight into the wind. Oh yeah, I'm like just crawling, but I'm still in top. Well, I was in top gear. I got to gear down just to keep my pace going. I'm probably doing like 5-6 miles an hour, whatever. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing 10 miles an hour. I don't know. I don't think I'm going that fast though. And everybody's just zipping by. And the cool thing is that on these short runs, like this bike is fine. It does put you into shape, but if I get off of this and get onto when I had my road bike, like I bought this thing. Again, it was $100 and $50 for the seat. I bought the comfiest granny seat I could get because I used to do a lot of biking on this thing too. And everybody thinks you need $1 million to get into this stuff. No, you don't. I don't have toe clips. I don't have I don't shave my legs. I don't do all that stuff. And they've even scientifically proven that the difference shaving your arms and legs makes is only going to matter to people who are highly competitive in a race, who are going to save approximately 1/10 of a second off their time. That's maybe 40th of a second off their time is all they're going to save. So like they're not, the average person isn't going to gain. So I do get it. There's a lot of people that want to, you know, live the fantasy and basically, I want a bago coming along here. Want to live the fantasy and basically a bit more of a shoulder here. So the worst part is I got to limit my speed because of that front tire, right? But yeah, if I can manage this speed all the time on a road bike, it'd be no problem. But the thing is that you got these people that they spend like thousands of dollars in their gear and they cycle twice a year. Is it really worth it for them? Maybe this is okay. You're not, you know, because they're thinking Tour de France all the time, you know, or something like that, or the Dirty Mile type of thing, you know, where, you know, you see these 15-year-olds and 20-year-olds going on plank boards in the middle of the bush in BC, going through the trees and stuff like that. They think they're going to be doing that, but they're not. They're most likely going to be doing what I'm doing. You know, they might get into that, but they usually don't start there, you know. Gear down a bit, take some gravel. And the thing is that for most people, they're not going to go far. If they do 10K a week on their bike, they're probably doing more biking than most people in their age bracket. Now, a kid is a different thing. A kid lives on a bike. If they're not, there's something wrong with your kid. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, I mean, I see all this craze about fixed gear bikes, and I laugh. I'm like, do you know how much of a pain in the ass fixed gear bikes were when I was a kid? Like every bike was, you couldn't get the gearing right. You would have one gear, one big sprocket. Every hill was just torture to go up, and you couldn't pedal fast enough to really get the max out of the bike. Fixed gears kind of suck. You know, they're cool. They have a charm to them, but unless you're on level ground all the time, fixed gear is not the way to go. It's no good for distance. That's just being realistic. I know some people will probably say, dude, I'm a courier and all I got is a fixer and whatever, and that's great. And I'm probably going to even build one of them things. Why? Because they're cool. They look cool. But if I'm going to go on a 100K ride for the bragging rights, I'll do it maybe once. I'll say, I did 100 kilometers on a fixer with no brakes. And people are like, wow, that's great. How many times do you do it? Once. Why? I'm never doing it again. Why? It's too much pain in the ass. You know what I mean? You're so limited. And it's dangerous. Bikes without brakes is just dangerous, especially road bikes. They're dangerous with brakes, let alone without brakes. I'm gonna take her down a bit and yeah, go around the park maybe. Yeah, I'm close to home now, so if it starts to rain, I'm not gonna get I'll get wet, but not too wet. I'm more worried about the camera than me. Yeah, I know it's supposed to be waterproof, but how waterproof is it really, right? Yeah. But Yeah, like just put around your neighborhood. What the heck did they do here? There's all kinds of gravel here. What? They changed something. I don't adapt to change well. Oh, maybe I do. You gotta. Oh, well, I wonder what they're doing. They're paving the road. I wonder what they're doing here, though. Can I still get through with the van? Oh, yeah, I can get through. But anyway, yeah, so a fixed gear bike, be a very cool, romantic thing. Okay if you're on level ground, but if you're going distances, I don't think that's the way to go. And some people say, dude, you have no experience with fixed gear bikes. No, that my childhood was fixed gear bikes. I had probably one of the heaviest bicycles ever made in history. They were called a motocross. You probably remember them. They had fake motorcycle tanks on them. Some were plastic, some were steel. Well, mine was the black one. I can't remember if it was a CCM or who made it. I think it was a CCM. The bike itself probably weighed 75 pounds. It had front suspension, it had rear coil shocks, and it was a fixed gear. And that bike, when it came down a hill, it sounded like the tires just roared like airplanes. It was so loud, and you couldn't pedal fast enough to keep up with the speed. But going up the hill, as good a shape as I was as a kid, and the hill I'll be climbing, I'll show you one of the hills around here, not today. You know, I needed a little bit more cycling practice. But I used to pedal from the bottom to the top of this hill, which is probably about a mile on about a 9-degree grade with a fixed gear bike, which would be equivalent to having this thing stuck on the medium sprocket all the time. The medium and the medium. So it's probably like being stuck in 7th gear out of the 15. We'll say it'd be like the equivalent of being stuck in 7th gear. And that, I tell you, when you'd make it to the top, but you would collapse at the top. I mean, you were just completely, like, I mean, that bike was so heavy, and it also had a 2-up seat on it, so I'd take all the little girls and everything for a ride on it and whatever, and we'd go down, they'd scare the shit out, they'd be screaming the whole way down, and I'd be like, I can't scream because if they lose confidence. But yeah, no, I was shit scared too. I was like, holy man, this thing's just, I was going down the hill at about 45 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, whatever it was. And then you get to the bottom, but it was like, I passed cars with it. And it was just one of those friction brakes in the back there. Yeah, that was a fixer. I wouldn't have traded it for the world. I got that bike, it said number 9 on it, and I got it for my 9th birthday. Got it out west in Calgary. Came all the way back here, and I guess it got tossed out a few years ago, but boy, the memories. But it was a fixed gear. Yeah, so that's my take on fixed gears. Something I'd like to have as a second, maybe third bike. Or if you're on level ground, you'd be okay. But if you're gonna be going any distance now, you know, I wore the fixed gear phase out when I was a kid. I love changing gears now. It's nice to make, you know, it's nice to not have to change your pedaling speed, RPM, and just let the bike do the work. But anyway, that's my take on it.